If you're part of the travel influencer industry, you know that your job is to disrupt and to innovate inside of this industry to get noticed and to help bring these companies into the present and the future. By learning what works right now and by figuring out how to be disruptive and innovative, we have the ability to stand out in the crowd and really do well inside of this industry, which is why today's travel expert, travel coach Sahara Rose is breaking down everything we need to know about how we can start standing out in the crowd and really making a difference to these companies. Let's dive in.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sahara Rose Vore. I'm a wellness travel coach and consultant and founder of the Travel Coach Network, a global community of travel coaches providing meaningful and transformative experiences.
And I'm so excited to have you back because today we're talking about women in travel. And we're going to talk about how women can be leveraging travel inside of what they're doing in their business life, in their professional life, to really disrupt the pattern and grow what they're doing inside of their platform. So let's talk a little bit about how this can be so beneficial and why it's good to actually create that disrupt. What do we need to know?
Yeah, I wouldn't be sitting here right now if I didn't believe in the not only the power of disruption, but the power of following your heart and your gut and what it is you want in your life and in your business. A little bit of background of why I believe so deeply in disruption is because when I graduated with a degree in hospitality and tourism management in 2010, and I decided to just start backpacking the globe solo because I didn't find any jobs that really were of interest to me that would have satisfied my desire to travel at that age. So as I was traveling throughout the globe, there was the rise of social media, the rise of travel technology, influencers came around. There were, of course, the traditional roles in the travel industry, like a flight attendant or a travel agent, a travel advisor, and more. And none of those really suited for me. And I said, there must be something more. I have all this experience in travel, and there has to be another way I can make an impact and with what it is I know and love. And I didn't find anything. I didn't find anything for over a decade. And then I started my own wellness travel coaching business. And then I founded the Travel Coach Network. And so the travel coaching is disrupting the travel industry and adding more depth and humanity to how we sell or how we provide travel experiences and how we view travel as well. And so the fact that I could create a business of my own, many people say I founded travel coaching. I don't think I founded travel coaching, but I definitely have pioneered a big path for travel coaches around the world. And that's what I want to inspire you as an influencer to do too, because let's face it, the influencer industry is very overly saturated. And when it comes to travel, the way that the influencer industry was, you can no longer do it the same way. Not only are the brands that you're looking to work with are morphing their marketing and what they provide to travelers and why, but also how you show up on social media and the content you put out there is changing as well. So I know causing a disruption is often uncomfortable for people, but it's something I definitely recommend all of you to consider in some way, shape, or form in your business.
Let's talk about disrupting the industry and let's talk about innovation because we know that as content creators, as influencers, as business people, we do have to be constantly innovating inside of our businesses in order to not only survive, but to thrive in our industries. So, how then, as people who are working inside of the influential space and working inside of the travel realm as well, how do we go about doing these disrupts and innovating inside of our businesses to then become profitable for ourselves and for the companies we're working with?
Yeah, in order to do something different, you have to first take a good assessment of what's all being done. You can't find a void or shortage in an industry if you are not well aware of what's happening in that space. And that's what I did for so long. And that's how I kind of paved this path in something so different that felt right for me, but I knew that this wasn't happening anywhere else. So take a look at the influencer industry, at how influencers pitch to their brands, what brands are looking for from them, how they're serving their brands, and find And then ask yourself, so the second part is going to be looking within and say, what problems have you seen? What voids have you seen in this work, in this content, in this industry as an influencer? What is it that you wish you've had? How do you wish things could have been? Or whatever it might be. And that's going to be your spark of inspiration. Too many times I hear people say, well, it's not been done before, so it must not be a thing. Or, is there proof of it first? I want to see if there's proof of it. If I had waited for someone to give me approval or acceptance for my ideas, or done it before, there'd already be someone pioneering my industries. That wasn't me. Or I'd be still stuck at figuring out what I want to do because no one has agreed with what I'm doing yet. You have to ask yourself what feels right in your heart. What do you want to do? And how can you, because that's what makes you stand out. When your messaging can be different from what everyone else is saying, that's what makes you unique. And that's what also has helped me grow my businesses in the wellness travel space and in travel coaching so quickly, because they're different ideas, but they're also ideas I truly believed in.
I love that you talked about carving out our own space and really identifying what's missing and what we don't see inside of the industry, and then taking the initiative to create that. And you're right, sometimes people will want the proof. We will want to know that it's going to work before we invest the time and effort into it. But if we wait around, it's going to pass us by, or we could take that initiative and pioneer that particular section of the industries. So as we're looking to do this and take that step toward innovation, what are your best tips for researching what's already out there and then deciding how we're going to pivot away from it to craft our specific niche inside of the industry?
Yeah, if you're an influencer, you've probably got inspiration and ideas from somewhere, right? You probably got your start somehow, whether it's a course you took, whether it is looking at what others are doing. It's a combination of all of that. Look at what are the main things that's being talked about? What are the main tips and suggestions? What is the way that they say content is supposed to be? What is everyone else doing that you feel like everyone else feels like, oh, if they're doing it, I have to do it? What are brands asking of you? And the internet is a big place. Look at other content creators. Look at articles and publications about the influencer industry. Do some surveys of your own. Ask around. Say, what are some of the most effective brands that you worked with and why? Or, where did things go wrong with certain brands? Ask yourself that. So take an assessment, an analysis of all of these sectors of the industry to give you the inspiration and say, well, these are common trends. These are happening a lot. So then when you can see that, you can say, well, this is not what's happening, or this could be done better, or how about we try this way? And to your point that, yes, people really do want, I hear too often, people want proof of something so they don't spend their time and money on creating it themselves. But if that was the mindset, so think about some of these greatest companies that exist now, if that was the mindset that they had, they wouldn't be at the level that they're at. Of course, in business, it's always a risk in everything that you do, but also your business is going to evolve. Some of the greatest companies, look at Amazon, look at Facebook. These companies, how they started are not what they're at today. They've morphed, they've evolved, the industry's changed. They listen to their consumers. They listen to traveler behavior, consumer behavior. So that's the same thing that you have to do in your business too. It's baby steps. But it's a big step forward in creating something that could really make an impact.
And to your point, we will have companies and brands that don't want to take those risks, that are not willing to take those steps forward. But the ones that are going to be the best collaborations and connections are the ones who are forward thinking. They do see the future potential impact in what you're doing, and they are going to be more willing to take those risks as long as you have a strategic plan to back that up. And as somebody who has pioneered inside of her industry, I want to talk a little bit about how to handle the rejection from companies that aren't willing to take those risks, and then how to pivot and actually connect with the ones that are going to be more innovative.
put yourself out there and connect and ask. I have talked to by the content that I put out, and by no means do I define myself as an influencer. I'm not. I like to influence people to think bigger and do more meaningful things. But the content I put out there on my channels, where I know the brands, as a wellness travel coach, the brands and the companies that I strive to work with or work for, collaborate or partner with, like LinkedIn is one of my main platforms. Just the content I put out attracts companies to me, into my inbox, saying, I love your messaging. I love your approach. I like how you talk about the human approach to wellness. I like your perspective on things. We resonate. This is our, under our value and our mission as well. So that's why I talk about you having to identify what makes you different. What are your beliefs? What's your core messages about what you do and what travel means to you, and whatever area that you focus on as an influencer, what's that impact and why is it important? And because when you're speaking your truth, your story, your transformation, your beliefs, you can back that by research or support in some way, then that's your truth. No one can take away from it. No one can debunk what you truly believe in. And the right companies will come your way. Those who are ideal to partner and collaborate with will resonate with your messaging, but be in a place where they are, so that they can hear you. They can, connect with you. They can learn more about you as well. You never know who's following you and who recognizes what you're doing. And then the other thing is just to ask too. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask and say, is there a way that we can collaborate? Is there a way that this is how we connect. This is how we resonate as well.
Influencing is not the main thing that I do, but it has become a big part of my business. And in my time influencing in the industries, I have never pitched a company to hire me. They have all found me through the content that I am putting out on social media and on my platform because they resonate with it. So making sure that if you have an idea and you want to work in a certain space, you are actually putting out some of that evidence that they're going to need to decide, yes, we want to work with you because we see the value in what you're doing and we connect with what you're saying and how you're saying it. So I love that you brought up, don't just wait for them to maybe magically find you, and don't just go to them. Make sure you're creating what we want to see in this industry. And when they start to notice it, then it's going to be easier for you to make those connections with them. Mm-hmm. Any final thoughts on women in travel and how we can really leverage this inside of our lives to grow our businesses and what we're doing in our everyday lives?
Yeah, I mean, travel itself is such a powerful tool for us, right? For our mental well-being, our well-being in general, our relationships with our family and our friends, our coworkers, inspiration for our business. So taking an overall assessment of yourself and asking, what does the true meaning of travel mean for me? What has travel done for me? When you can dig below the surface and you can identify just how impactful travel has been on your life in all these different areas, and then using that into your brand story and into your messaging, you will attract the right brands, and you will really thrive as the business owner that you are when you're true to yourself and you are recognizing just how powerful travel can be. Because if you're going to be in the travel influencer industry, you have to have a basic understanding of just how important travel is on people. And you probably do. But we don't often take the time to look within and ask ourselves and pull these answers up from out and use that. We tend to think that, I need to speak this way. I need to talk about this because that's what everyone else is talking about. But be you and speak the truth about travel, because you will find the right people and brands and audiences.
Finding your own unique story within how you are traveling is going to be essential for how we are going to be able to grow inside of this industry. And you have been such a wealth of information, Sahara Rose. Where can everybody connect with you to continue to learn how to work within the travel industry?
Absolutely. You can find me on thetravelcoachnetwork.com. On Instagram and Facebook, I'm at The Travel Coach Network, and then also Sahara Rose, The Travel Coach.
If you love this episode, be sure to check out Sahara Rose's other episodes here on the channel and hit that subscribe and notification bell, because every single day we're dropping tutorials on how you can level up in the influencer industry with your social media marketing and with growing your online business to save you time and effort and make more money online while not having to spend a ton of time and effort creating the content that makes you that money, so you can get back to running your business and living your best life. Drop your questions down below and let me know what other experts or what other topics you would like to see covered on the channel. We'll see you in the next episode.